Forget abs, bro. As soon as a girl looks at you, there's three muscles that she like straight away notices. And they're not what you think. Because these muscles dig into her subconscious. They're like what is in her primal, her caveman, her animal brain. It's like what she's subconsciously attracted to. She don't know how to explain it, but she just pulled toward these muscles. Because it just shows, like, these muscles show which type of man you are and how much attractiveness she needs to give to you. Because these muscles aren't like what you think. Like, you're never taught about these muscles. This is like pretty much a secret. Not a lot of people know about this. And I'm going to be nice enough to give you this information without you having to pay for anything. These muscles dig into a subconscious. If you don't train them, you're pretty much invisible right away. So why, imagine me and you and like 5 other guys. There's going to be a sprint, 100-meter sprint, right? Imagine 3 of us, these are the people that train the muscles, right? 3 of us sprint straight away. Like we're going straight away, right? And the rest of the people, they started to walk. Because why the fuck would you start to walk when you can start sprinting? And you can start sprinting by learning these muscles and starting building them and making them bigger and sexier than, whereas you don't train them and you become invisible towards women. So why the fuck would you want that? By the way, I have a step-by-step program on exactly how to build all of these muscles and a lot more. And it's in my school community. Just click the link in my bio and it's probably even in the description of this video. We're going to go into this part. Imagine there's 3 candidates to this test, right? And there's a woman. This woman has to choose who she's most attracted to. And the scenario is, it's nighttime and it's summer. So, and all 3 of these candidates are wearing a slim fit t-shirt so you can see their body, right? And we're like not including legs, right? So this guy just has some jeans, right? And all of their legs are the same. Let's just say this, right? And there's 3 different body types. There's being fat, like overly fat, obese, a lot of extra body fat. Okay, let's say this. There's also being skinny. Skinny fat, just skinny, scrawny, little, right? And there's also being jacked, having a V-taper, and including the secret muscles, having the V-taper, right? Which of the 3 candidates do you think the woman will be choosing? I don't think it's going to be the fat guy or the skinny guy. I know for a fact it's going to be the guy with the V-taper. And why? Because this subconsciously makes the woman think that this guy is a leader, that this guy is a protector, and this guy is a provider. I don't know why. It's in the fucking subconscious animal brain of us. I can't explain it. She can't explain it, but she's pulled towards them. Like, she can't explain why, but she is. There was also a study with men sweated into t-shirts, right? And the woman chooses which one is the most attractive, right? Based off their BO smell. And the guy with the most testosterone got chosen by all of the females. Why? Because he had the most testosterone. Even though the females couldn't see him, just by the based off his smell, they knew he was the most attractive, right? And this also correlates with your body type, right? The guy that has the V-taper mimics the way of having high testosterone, whereas the guy that's fat, obese, or small mimics having low testosterone. You know what I'm trying to say? So why are we trying to avoid these advantages when we can use them? Why? Why are we not taking action? Why? So I'm going to give you the information so you can level up. The first most important muscle is your neck. Why? Because when a guy has a thick neck and a big neck, right, he is perceived as a fighter, a protector. Makes him look dangerous. Women want dangerous, the bad boy. It makes you look like the bad boy, the high testosterone individual. Imagine fighters, soldiers, warriors. They all had thick necks. And this is important because we can mimic this, bro. We're gonna have big necks and thick necks, so we're attractive towards so we're subconsciously attracted towards girls. And girls don't really care about the number that you lift, just the way that you look. So why the fuck are we caring about a bench press when our necks are still small? When our traps are still small? You know what I'm trying to say? Because why are you chasing a 315-pound bench press when your neck is still small? What's the point? It's like starting off jogging instead of sprinting at the race. What's the point? right? And when we're training neck, we're going to want to use higher reps. And we're going to try go from the 15 to 30 rep range, right? With a weight. Get a towel on your head so you don't get pimples. But if you're a bad boy and a caveman, you don't need the towel. You can just put the weight on, right? If you don't care about the germs, right? So put the weight on your neck and do neck curls. How do you do this? You literally just lay flat on a bench and your head is hanging behind here, right? And you just put your neck back and up, right? And you're going to do this with a weight. Obviously, we're going to progressive overload the weight, make it stronger and bigger the weight, right? So our neck gets thicker and stronger. But we're going to do as many reps as we can with the weight. And then once we can't do it, we're going to do a drop set. Chances are, when you're training neck, you're going to have this feeling that you can't breathe, that your neck's very tight. This is not real. You still can breathe. And trust me, you won't die from this, right? I'm also going to do the same thing for the back of our neck. We're going to do the opposite. So we're going to lay on our stomach on the bench press. And we're going to lift our head up with the weight on the back of our head, right? And once we can't do it anymore, then we're going to drop set, just like we did for the front. We're also going to do high reps because, I don't know why, but neck just responds better to growing when you do high reps instead of low reps. You are going to want to train neck 2 to 3 times per week. So this is what I like to do. I like to train neck Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And neck is actually a muscle that you can technically train every day. But when you're a beginner, your neck will get sore very easily. So you're not going to want to train it when it's sore. So just stick with Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But you can eventually get to 5 times per week, right? And then 6. All depends on how many times per week you train. Now we're going to go over into the second muscle. The second muscle that goes instantly noticed is your forearms. And more specifically is this part. And how do we train this? We're going to train this by doing S-bar curls, reverse S-bar curls. And you can also train with, imagine putting this on like your shoulders and you go like this, right? This trains this part of our forearms and it's the most attractive. Most people like to do wrist curls like this, right? Yes, it trains forearms, but not the aesthetic part. This part is the aesthetic because this part is what women see all the time. You know what I'm trying to say? So why are you going to train something that's not aesthetic? The same goes with the bicep, because imagine if we covered up, even though our bicep is smaller than our tricep, imagine we covered up our tricep, right? This part is still attractive. Imagine this. This is not as attractive, right? Because it's only the tricep and it's like lower down. And this is visible, this isn't visible. So it's the same with forearms. You know what I'm trying to say, right? And forearms respond better to high weights, right? And we're also going to want to do drop sets when we're doing S-bar curls, right? Because you can't really drop set this. You guys actually never train forearms properly. Why? I don't know. They just lack the information. But to get all the information, you know what I'm trying to say? Just click the link in the description. It's everything you need to do inside my school community. Yes, you're going to have to pay. But that's because I'm giving you the top of my information for a good price, which I can actually profit on and you can profit on too. Like, I'm going to benefit from this and you're going to benefit from this. Now, the side of our shoulders. This is the part that makes you stand out. This is the part that makes your shoulders look like cubes. No, this is not cubes, circles, right? This is what, look, you see this part? See how it's like out? That's because I train the side of my shoulders. I do lateral raises, right? This is what happens when you do lateral raises. Your shoulders get like this. Sure, this is still genetics, but I do have very good genetics for my shoulders, luckily. Amen. But the way that we actually grow these is by spamming lateral raises, and preferably on the cable, because then you have because then the tension on your shoulders is like throughout the whole movement. But when you're doing dumbbells, the tension on your shoulder isn't actually here. The highest tension is here. But when you're with cables, your highest tension is like throughout the whole movement. So it only makes sense to use cables because then you get the highest activation on the side of your shoulders. And this is the part that actually gives you the V taper from the front, apart from your back, right? And you want to train these by just doing them very often and high reps. The side of your shoulders respond better to high reps than low reps. And it feels better when you're doing higher reps than lower reps. I don't like doing 8 reps on my shoulders. Why? I don't know. It just don't feel nice. I prefer getting a good 15 reps on lateral raises. It just feels a lot better in my opinion. Right? Every single muscle group, we're going to want to train 2 times per week, or 3. It all depends on what you can fit into your training plan, right? And I've also made a training plan in the link in my description, so just join. You literally have everything that you need to know. But now imagine your neck, your lateral delts, and your forearms are all trained together, and you're wearing a black slim fit t-shirt. And you're next to a guy who doesn't train these. Now imagine your competitive advantage when you're trying to like win a go over, right? Not win a go over, but imagine there's a goal and you and some random guy are here, and imagine the chances are like, yeah, she needs to choose which one's more she's going to choose you because you train these muscles, which she notices straight away without like you having to get naked. You're going to want to focus on the mind muscle connection in every single one of these muscles. Why? Because that's when you get the most optimal hypertrophy. Arnold Schwarzenegger talked about this. Every single great bodybuilder always talks about the mind-muscle connection. Every single fitness coach, every single jacked person talks about mind-muscle connection. And that's the like golden trick, golden key. Some people even charge you for the information for mind-muscle connection, but you're getting it for free because mind-muscle connection is just for beginners. Like, you need to know this in order to actually grow. It's like doing lat pull downs but without actually feeling your back. Like, what's the point? There isn't. So, in order to actually grow these muscles, you're going to have to train till failure. And you're going to have to do 2 sets till failure. Because 2 sets till failure give you maximum results for the least amount of time spent. Which is the most optimal. You can do 5 sets, you can do 6 sets. But it's not like you don't get as much results as you would from doing 2 sets. You'll get a little bit more results, but you'll also get more fatigued. Which is not good because if you get more fatigued, you can't give more energy into the other exercises that you need to do through the workout. Which doesn't make sense. Right. Now, let me give you the most sexy muscles. Because I actually messaged a girl. I messaged 2 different girls. Right, now let me give you the most sexy muscles. The most sexy muscles are actually your abs, your bicep, and your back. Why? Because your abs are just sexy. Imagine you get naked in front of a girl. Obviously, the girl wants you to have abs. It's just sexy, bro. Like, abs are just sexy. You get abs. But yes, you have to cut and lose your body fat, which is hard to do when you're bulking. It's going to be hard to have abs whilst bulking. It is doable, it is possible, but it's near enough impossible. But so is getting jacked, because odds are against you to get jacked in this world. We have bad food, bad quality, and we're told not to exercise. So, odds are stacked against you. But it's still doable. But the way that we actually get abs is not by abs are made in the kitchen. You actually have to train abs. And there's a lot of exercises that you can do for abs. So many. But the ones that I recommend, which are easy to progressive overload on, and they're pretty fun to do, is hanging leg raises, right? Preferably with a weight. I do it with a weight because I'm more experienced, right? But this is what I do. I use the weight. I do 2 sets, right? And then I also drop sets. So I use the weight and I do it until I can't. And then once I finish with the weight, I drop the weight because I hold the weight in my knees, right? Imagine your legs, holding them, and like your legs are like squished together, right? You do the leg raises, and then once you can't do it anymore, you drop the weight and you just use your 3 legs, your body weight, to hit failure, right? And you do this for 2 sets. And then for the top of your abs, because there's obviously a 6-pack, right? We're training the lower abs because this will give you like near your pubes, like your penis is here, and like, you know what I'm trying to say, that V, right? And the upper abs, we're gonna do by cable crunches. Get a cable and just do crunches, and you can progressive overload on them. They're pretty easy to do, right? And that's how you get abs. Now with back, all we're gonna focus on is the width, because this is the V taper, right? Same with the side of your shoulders and the V taper. They go hand in hand. So how we're gonna do this is literally by doing pull-ups. Pull-ups, lat pull-downs, rows. All the lat exercises, just spam lats, trust me. I would give you more information, but I've already talked enough and I give you enough information. But the link in my bio, I give you everything, all the information. Trust me, just... And I can't be asked to give you the information on like every single exercise and everything. But click the link in my bio, buy my course, and I will tell you everything. Because you gave me money, so why wouldn't I give you all the information that you need to know? And now biceps. Why biceps? Because biceps are what they see first, right? And how do you train biceps? I like to do normal standing curls, Bang, bang, bang. And then after, just preach your goals. Bang, bang, bang. And until failure. Now, just with the working out alone, sure, you'll grow, but you won't get maximal results. You need to eat the correct food and also sleep and get the correct rest, right? There's two different types of rests, but we won't talk about that. But the food that you need to focus on, just eat more eggs and more meat. I eat anywhere from 10 to 30 eggs per day. Today, I've only ate 10, but I will eat more because it's not the end of the day. But you should aim to eat 10 eggs per day. Every single day. This will give you more than enough nutrients for your muscle to grow bigger. I promise. Just trust me. Trust a 17-year-old that's jacked and that eats 30 eggs per day, that you have to eat 10. Just trust. And with that goes, a lot of people actually don't take action. And if you're actually very, very serious about growing and becoming more attractive to attract the opposite race, then the opposite sex, then actually click the link in my bio. Take this shit seriously. It's not even expensive right now. At the time of watching this video, I don't know, okay, at the time of recording this video, the course is for $35 because no one has actually joined it yet. At the time of recording this video, the course is at $35. So just join, it's very cheap. It's gonna be at $100. At the time you're viewing this video, chances are it's at 100, maybe even more. So just join whilst you can still get the cheap price. Peace.